this dwarven battle bread is terrible. I still have all my teeth. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always, I'm Andrew, and today I've got another book review for you. But before we get to that book review, make sure you're liking and subscribing and hitting that bell notification so you can get regular updates when I put out new content. Post every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And that said, guys, today's book review is going to be Feet of Clay by Sir Terry Pratchett. This is the third book in the City Watch collection of the Discworld books. And oh my gosh, this one is fantastic. It is probably my second favorite so far of the four I've read. And it's literally just behind Guards because frankly, Guards is a masterpiece. And if you haven't seen my review for that, I'll go ahead and link that right up in the cards. And Men-at-Arms as well. I'll link them both up in the cards subsequently. But yeah, Feet of Clay is by far my second favorite. And literally everybody is just growing. Now this will have some mild spoilers. I mean like mild spoilers for Men-at-Arms. Most of your Discworld books can kind of read as standalone. But I mean, from where Vimes is here from when he was Men-at-Arms, obviously, I'm going to mention Men-at-Arms right now. Basically, in Men-at-Arms, Vimes was getting ready to retire from the Watch because he was marrying Sybil Rampkin, and who was one of the most wealthy women in Ankh-Morpork. And because she's a part of the nobility, he was getting elevated and could no longer just be a street person of the Watch. So the patrician comes up with a compromise. Why don't you become, he dusts off this old title and gives it to Vimes for commander of the Watch. And then Carrot gets promoted to, I believe, captain of the Watch. And so Vimes is still very much a part of the Watch. And here we really get to see him kind of shine. This is where we see him start to do detective work and lead men and deal with the aristocracy. There are three main plot points here. One is people are showing up dead. And basically there are mysteries going on of why these people are showing up dead. The second is something is odd with the golems in Ankh-Morpork. Basically, people don't trust the golems in Ankh-Morpork. And they're just really used as menial labor. And then the third is something has happened to the patrician. Basically, they think that the patrician, Vimes thinks that the patrician has been poisoned. And so there's all these mysteries kind of going around trying to come together. But you're also still gonna get your deeper, more important themes that you have come to love and expect from Discworld. Specifically, like what is free will, what does it mean to be alive, slavery, things of that nature, all through the lens of fantasy and of being a golem. And basically what the golems are just made from clay. And they are used as just machines, just 24-hour labor, free labor. Once you buy one, which they're incredibly expensive, you basically go tell it to go do something and it'll do it. Now, they get their revenge a little bit because once you tell them to go do something, if you don't tell them to stop, they won't. So if you say, hey, go dig a hole in the backyard, and you don't tell them how deep you want that hole, they're going to keep digging that hole until either they break or you find out how deep they actually got. There are multiple gags in this of where like a golem just was set to a task. Like, hey, go build some chairs. Okay, and then they fill a warehouse with chairs before anybody had a chance to check up on them. It's fantastic. But basically they're controlled by these scrolls that are put in their head. Like their head flips up and you can put the scroll in. And I forget the actual term of what these are. But basically these things act as like a control, kind of limiting what they can and cannot do. And one thing a golem cannot do is it cannot hurt humans. And that is part of their base nature. So basically we start out kind of just with a weird purchase of a golem is where this starts out. Now, the dwarven battle bread joke kind of comes from the fact that one of the people who killed is killed with in a dwarven bakery, or I think it's a dwarven museum, for battle bread. And this is one of my favorite gags, is basically like the dwarves, because they're just crazy about everything, bake their baked goods to be used in battle. So like baguettes can be used as like boomerangs, and like their like croissants can kill you. So it's absolutely hilarious. It's one of my favorite gags. and I just absolutely love it. We've got a lot of returning characters here. We've got Angua coming back. We've got Detritus coming back. We've got a new person who shows up at the end, a new addition to the watch, but I won't spoil that because he's obviously, like, I think, hopefully, I'm hoping in the later books, he becomes one of my favorites. So far, he only made like a brief appearance in Jingo, but we'll see how he's utilized later. But essentially, everything's going around, and, you know, Vimes is very much still dealing with the fact that he is part of the aristocracy. And so Sybil's like, hey, you need to go get a coat of arms. So then he goes off to find a coat of arms, figures out because of what his ancestor did by killing a king way in the past, he's not allowed to have a coat of arms, but that somebody he knows may be secret nobility. And it's this all overarching mystery. This one actually has a good, like, murder mystery and political intrigue going on here. I really, I'm going to give you my rating right up front. This is a 5 out of 5. It's got some of the best prose, some of the best wordplay, some of the best characters, and some of the best setting that I can honestly say I've read in Discworld so far. Now, that's not saying much. I've read 4 books. But, I mean, these are just absolutely gorgeous, well worth it palette cleansers. You are not going to find something more worth it than Discworld at this point right now. I love Discworld. If you're not reading Discworld, stop what you're doing and go read Discworld. I'm talking to you. Yeah, you know who you are. If you haven't read the Discworld, you need to go read the Discworld, okay? Okay. I'm gonna back up and we'll get back to the review. But hey, no, seriously. Okay, listen, okay. Discworld's amazing. All right, guys. But yeah, this easily a 5 out of 5 for me. I just want to sit here and kind of gush and just it's amazing because it is. It's great. Other than that, I don't really want to get into too much spoilers here. We've got, you know, the mystery with the patrician. We've got Vimes dealing with and learning how to be the commander of the City Watch. And we've got the mystery surrounding the golems and what's going on with the golems. And what I really loved about the golems is, you know, you walk up to a golem in Angmorpork and, like, people don't trust them because it's something that's, like, humanoid and moves around and it's in the shape of a human, and it probably shouldn't have the shape of a human because then, like, people get kind of creeped out by them because their eyes glows. Like, if you look at this, you can see the eyes are glowing, so their eyes will light up and stuff like that. And it's a little kind of off-putting. And so there's a lot of animosity, and people start thinking, hey, all the golems have turned evil. All the golems are going around killing people. Well, no, that's not what's happening. But it's so interesting because when it addresses the issue of free agency and free will and what it means to be alive, Pratchett uses the lens of fantasy. I always say Pratchett can tell a great story and an important lesson through the lens of fantasy. He is the absolute master at this. I honestly, it's funny. I was recently watching, you know, because right before I picked up this, I watched the Library of Allenxandrias review for Feet of Clay. And he goes into how much, I'll actually link that in the description down below if you want to watch that as well. And basically what Alan says is, Pratchett is a wordsmith unparalleled that we may not have seen in hundreds of years. Basically, his use of the pun is fantastic. There are just multiple instances in here where Terry Pratchett can take a pun and just make it dance for him. And so every time you think, oh, that was really clever, there's no way he's going to top that, keep reading. Because the way he uses the English language, like patience and patience, spelled 2 different ways, you know, like a doctor's patience or trying somebody's patience. Like, it's amazing the way he uses the English language. And I just honestly think that if you are not reading Discworld, you are doing yourself a disservice. I will champion Discworld until I initially, when I picked up Discworld, thought, I'm just going to read a few books. There's no way I'm going to read all 42 of these things. I'm already planning on buying another 12 books. And I'm only 4 books into the 12 I've already got. So I am beyond excited for this. Guys, I cannot recommend Feet of Clay enough. You can either pick it up as a standalone, but if you want the story as a whole, definitely start at Guards, Men-at-Arms, Feet of Clay. That said, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think of Feet of Clay, what you think of Discworld, what you think of Sir Terry Pratchett, or just anything bookish in general. If you want to say hi in the comments down below. I'm more than willing to talk to you. Or if you want to talk on a more regular basis, check the description down below for the link to the Wizardly Duo Discord. I'd love to have you in there. So, till next time, guys, peace out. Stay magical.